Okay, now if we don't have it in factored form and we have it in standard form, but we're still looking for that vertex, what do you think we should do? Now you have to complete the square. You?
Oh, God.
What do you think we should do here? If it's in standard form, can I find the zeros from the standard form? No. What can I find from the standard form? Is it the y-intercept? Is it going to be helpful at all to find the axis of symmetry? No. So do I know any way to go from standard to vertex right away? No. Yes. You guys, no you don't. Okay? So I don't know how to go from standard to vertex, but I know how to go from standard to factor. Right? What do I do to go from standard to factor? No? If I want to put it in factored form, from standard to factored, what do I do?
You factor.
I factor, not expand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you factor. Remember the factoring techniques that we learned? Sum and product, difference of squares? You have to perform that. Okay?
Yeah.
Now when it's in factored form, then you can follow the steps that we just did above. Okay? So the step that you have to do is you need to factor first, then follow steps above. Okay? So if it's in standard form, remind me when we finish this, you have to come and see me so we can do the okay? When it's in standard form, you have to factor first, then you have to find the zeros, find the axis of symmetry, find the optimal value, and write it in vertex. Okay, let's look at an example. So, what form is this in?
Standard.
Standard. So what can I find from the standard form?
Your C value.
Which is what?
The Y.
The y-intercept, which is equal to, in this case, what is it equal to? Negative 18. Okay. Remember, C, right? Okay. Now, do I know where my zeros are? What do I have to do to find the zeros? I have to put it in, what form do I have to put it in?
Factored.
Factor. So I have to factor. This is a trinomial. How do you factor a trinomial?
Sum.
Sum and product. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to
18.
negative
Negative 18.
and add to
Negative 3.
negative 3. Good. What multiplies? So both of them are negative. That means the large is going to be negative and the small is going to be positive.
6 and 3.
So negative 6 and 3.
Yeah.
Does that add to negative 3?
Yes.
Does it multiply to negative 18?
Yes.
Good. That's my answer, right? I didn't have to do a lot of work. If I can find it right away, good. So my factored form is y equals x. I'm waiting for you guys. I know the answer. What do I write? X negative 6, because the 6 is the negative. Okay, and
X.
good. That's my factored form. So it's asking me for my zeros. Did I find the zeros yet, or do I have to now say what the zeros are?
So now you would. So it's
What are my zeros?
It's going to be plus 6 and minus 3.
So I found my factor, factored, found the zeros. zeros. How can I find my axis of symmetry?
You take the 2 zeros, you add them and divide them by 2.
Good. So to find the axis of symmetry, I add my zeros. So that's 6 plus minus 3 divided by 2. 6 plus minus 3, that's
3.
3 divided by 2, that's 1/2. So my axis of symmetry is 1.5. Now I have to find my optimal value. To find the optimal value, I have to plug in my axis of symmetry into my equation. I can pick either one. Okay? So let's pick the original in for x. Yeah,
And solve.
that's right. So what do you get? Let's see. 1.5 squared minus 3 times 1.5 minus 18. So that gives me negative 20.25. So that's my optimal value. Okay. So what's my vertex? You shouldn't wait that long to answer this question. We've talked about the vertex for multiple times. The vertex is made of what and what? H and K, the axis of symmetry and the optimal value. So what's my vertex? 1.5. Negative.
20.20.
Thank you. Okay, so I still have to put it in vertex form because it's asking me for the vertex and to put it in vertex form. So to put it in vertex form, I just have to go where y equals, what's my a value? What's the a value here? 1. So I don't have to include an a value, right? Let me just write the equation. So a is 1, I can omit that. I don't have to write anything. What's the h?
1.5.
So that's minus 1.5 squared. And then what's the k? Minus 20.20. That is my vertex form. So the only extra step that I've done is I have to factor because it wasn't factored. Right? Let me just finish the last one and I'll give you time to reflect on this, okay? To do a couple questions so you get used to it and then we'll do the work. So, just gonna go back to the previous page. To find the vertex of a quadratic when it's in vertex form, what do? What's the vertex if it's in vertex form?
The H value and the K.
So the vertex is just simply h and k. You don't have to do any work, right? That's why it's vertex form. Okay? It's simple. This is the simplest one of them. Okay? seniors? A question? Y equals negative 3, x minus 2 squared plus 5. What form it's in? Vertex form. What is my vertex?
It's the camera knows just change the sign.
The sign wouldn't change on that.
It's just on the one inside the
Just
bracket.
the age.
Because remember that it has to be a negative, right?
Okay, yeah. So if it was a negative, it's same. You just.
So it's 2 and 5.
Miss, get question. Can the vertex form change in no other way, like negative 3x plus 2?
If it's plus 2, then the vertex is a negative 2.
Only for the x?
Only the x. You guys. Only there's a big
We did it for both.
No, that's in the factored form. Remember, guys, here, this is your equation, right? Because h is negative,
Right.
that means if your vertex is 2 and 5, let's say, right? If I'm going to plug in this vertex here, it's going to be x. This is a minus. H is positive, so it's going to stay a minus squared plus 5.
Oh.
Right? Because what I'm doing is I'm replacing this here and I'm replacing this here. Okay? The equation already has a negative in it. Negative and a positive makes a negative. Right? Now, if let's say, for example, my vertex is, give me a vertex with a negative x value. Negative 3 and whatever, 7. Okay? I say this is my vertex. If I'm going to plug in this negative 3 here, so that's going to be y equals a, x. Negative and negative makes it what? Positive. So it's x plus 3 squared plus 7. Okay?
But when you write the vertex, it'd be negative 3.
That's right. Because otherwise it won't be the same equation.
No matter what, that one is going to be negative.
That's right. Always. The h value of the vertex is going to be the opposite sign. Okay?
So it'll never be positive.
Sorry?
Okay.
That here, it's going to be 2 and 5.
Okay.
Okay? Now, is the vertex a max or a min? Which way is this going to open? Which way is this going to open?
Down.
Down. So is it, since it's going to open down, is it a max or a min? Is this a maximum or a minimum?
A max.
Why is it
Because your thing is on.
Look at this point. Is it on top of the hill or on the bottom?
Top of the hill.
So that's a maximum. Right? If it opens down, it's a max. Right? Because you're going to reach a maximum point, then you're going to go back down. How do you convert this to standard form?
Factor? Form to standard?
The vertex. So if I have the vertex and I want to put it in standard form, what do?
You expand.
I have to expand. So first thing I have to write the x minus 2 twice. I have to fold. X times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 plus 5. I can expand and then simplify at the end. It doesn't matter if you simplify first, it's just an extra step. Negative 3x squared plus 6x plus 6x minus 12 plus 5. So all what I did is I distributed that -3 in. Then I can collect like terms. So the 6x and the 6x, that gives me 12x. The -12 plus the 5, that gives me -7. And that is my standard form.